Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is going to be kind of an April mini tour of my yard. I'm just going to show you all the things that happen to be flowering now or have just finished flowering or about to flower. I'll do a more proper walk around and show you everything in May. I've got kind of a mess in my yard right this minute from some tables and plants and other things that I have I'm still trying to sell off from my garden center, and so it's not quite like I would like it to be right this minute, but there's a lot of beautiful things out here, and I wanted to kind of go through and show you those, and that way you can kind of see updates from things that I've put in the ground if you've been watching my videos for a while. So let's get started on that. I'm just going to start right here on the porch. Those of you who aren't in the southeast or have never had this experience, this is pine pollen right here. It comes down for several weeks in the spring, and then we kind of hope for a heavy rain. We're supposed to get one today, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't bother washing it off of anything until we get a heavy rain. I see people washing their cars right now, and 30 minutes later they're just yellow again. That's that Chef's Choice rosemary that went into that container. It's still looking good up here on the porch. My porch gets a little too shady for that. Eventually I'm going to have to move it toward the front of the porch or down onto my sidewalk at some point. Over here, this autumn bonfire, Encore Azaleas, coming back into bloom, that I planted in that container there in the fall, and it'll be solid red here in another week. It's absolutely loaded with buds that are starting to open. Pansies are looking pretty good over here, and then over here on the rack, these lettuce bowls that we've been doing, which need to be thinned right now. I'll go around here and take some greens off today and try to make sure I keep space between these plants and keep good air movement around them. All of these Carex from the Southern Living Plant Collection that I put up here in the fall look great. This golden Oakland holly and the pansies are looking good. Pansies are finally growing in there. And this rhododendron, or the 3 rhododendrons that I crammed into this container in a video, they are starting to come into bloom. That pot's going to be really, really beautiful. I'll eventually put these 3 plants in the ground after they have finished blooming. And then on this table here, you probably saw at the beginning, I had done these pansies in this basket with some daffodil bulbs, and daffodils are now in full bloom here. Several different ones. That one is a really nice little frilly double in the center right there. That's one of my favorites right there. And then I really like this solid yellow one. This is that Southern Gritty mix, I think they call it, from Color Blends. I'll show you the rest of them in the ground in a few minutes. And there's some of that plants from the giveaway that we have coming up from Plants by Mail. Here's a couple of hellebores that I put in last year. This is a beautiful double white right here. And this one's kind of almost a chocolate color right there. They've been blooming for a while now. I shot a video on how to clean, cut these back and clean them up just a few weeks ago. Here's some AJUGA that's starting to come into flower right there. I transplanted this in a video a long, long time ago, and it has kind of thrived in this spot. I'll clean up a few of these leaves soon, but this tree does a good job of insulating some of these perennials that are in this this bed right here. There's a water hose running across right there. Carex that I planted in a video a long time ago, looking great in the ground. And then this group of pink mixed tulips is really, really spectacular right here. My autumn fire Encore Azaleas are just about to be back in bloom now. There's a third one right there. And then on this corner over here, ground cover phlox is starting to come into bloom. So here's the second group of tulips here. They're really beautiful. These are kind of passing peak. They're almost done. This was the first group I had flowering. I wanted to show you something right here. This is this ROSEMARY hardy VIBURNUM. Really beautiful plant. I put these in last winter, right before one of the coldest snaps we ever had. In my area, it stayed below freezing for over 100 hours and almost killed these completely back to the ground. And then last year, of course, they had to really struggle to come back from that, but they're in bloom here at the beginning of April, and looks like they're going to make it, and they're going to put on quite a bit of growth as it warms up here. They'll be back to looking like they did when I put them in the ground, but I did think that I had lost these 3 at one point. The Snow Fountain Cherry has kind of passed peak on flowering, and it's now pushing out leaves, but it looks great. It was in full flower here maybe about a week ago or so. My Fothergilla here, this is a native to the southeast. This one has not opened as much. This one's opened a little, and this one is more open here. These are really nice plants, and they have that blue-green foliage when they leaf out. That's a really nice plant. My cherry here is about to bloom, my KWANZAN cherry. I'll take some photos and put that on Instagram when it's in bloom. It's usually pretty spectacular. I don't know if any of these late frost or freezes have done any damage to it, but I doubt it. Normally it blooms late enough. It's a little smarter than some of the other cherries and holds off a little bit. Here's some of my mess over here. This is this weeping white redbud that I put in a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It's one of the first pieces I think I put into the yard. But look how beautiful these flowers are around these stems. Of course, this is a hybrid of a native redbud right here. Another thing I have going on is I have all of these containers right here are redbuds, and I've got all different types that I'm shooting a video for that I've bought right here. I've got this is lavender twist. This is the purple one with that has the weeping habit, like the white one over here. I've got the new gold foliage ones, and I'm in the process of shooting a video on these. And so, you know, shooting the flowers right now, waiting for the foliage to come out so you guys can see how diverse group of, you know, all these new hybrid redbuds, how beautiful they are. The star magnolia here was in full bloom last week. It's starting to leaf out now. And over here, these rhododendrons that I did in this video recently, this one over here is just about in full bloom right there. They seem to be happy in this space so far. There's a thundercloud plum right here that was in full bloom last week. I put a couple pictures on Instagram of it. And then right here is a white dogwood that is in full flower right now, looking great. This one was actually just a seedling that came up, and it came up in a spot where I didn't mind it coming up, and perfect location for it. Obviously, it looks great. Here's the third group of tulips. These yellows open up when the sun is on them, and the inside of the flower is actually black. It's really, really beautiful. There's actually some whites and some pinks in this mix as well, but these yellows raced ahead of the other ones. It has this beautiful frilly edge on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the video, but all the petals have a little fringy edge on them, and then they're black in the center, which is very interesting. These blueberries right here that I put in a video recently, the flowers are just starting to open up on those. They're absolutely loaded with flowers. The peas from the vegetable series are starting to take off. These pots are in here because they hold down my cover when I have to cover these leafy vegetables on the frost nights. But all these lettuces are starting to grow. These autumn lilac Encore Azaleas are starting to open some color as well. And then over here, this is that group of daffodils I was talking about here. And it's a great mix. There's probably 5 different varieties in this mix in combinations. But look at this one right here. Look at this little one. That one's really interesting. The alliums that I planted back here behind these in that same video, they're all just breaking the ground right now. All these pieces in this soil mound I brought home from the garden center where I had them planted in the ground. Those autumn bonfires are blooming as well. These are some deciduous azaleas that I had planted in the fall out here, and right there the flower buds are on these. They'll start blooming here in the next week or two. When I was in Louisiana this past week, they're in full bloom down there, way ahead of ours, but you can see the buds right there. There'll be clusters of fragrant flowers on the end of those. And then here's a Chinese redbud that I planted last year that's starting to open the flowers now. The baby gem boxwoods that we planted in a square around this vegetable garden last year look great, and these sunshine ligustrum look fantastic. I got to get in here and do a little bit of pruning on these, but they've come out nicely already this spring. I have this purple Daydream Loropetalum in this container here in the front of my porch, and then those dwarf Pittosporum are right here. Look really, really good right now. And then I had container planted this Japanese maple last year, and it's leafing out right now, and I need to continue to train it up here at the top. So I need to get on that pretty soon. I need to put a sturdier pole in there to hold that in place, to hold that shape in place. So this is just some of the chaos that I have going on right this minute, right here on my driveway. These tables are actually sold and being picked up, and I've got some lumber behind it that's going to a fence project that I'm doing, but this is just absolutely wild. Here's a few project pieces that I have coming up here. This is this Miss Figgy fig, this dwarf fig from the Southern Living Plant Collection. I got that video coming out soon. It's going to go in the ground pretty soon. And this is a TAIGA clematis. This is a beautiful clematis. I actually shot this video in Alabama 2.5 months ago, and I've been waiting for it to wake back up here so I could get it planted and in a video. This little blue fountain agapanthus right here, man, this is a pretty little plant with the there's the flowers on it right there. I just put up this blush pink Nandina video a couple days ago. This is another one I'm doing right now. This is this spider's web Fatsia right here. Really beautiful plant. That video will be up pretty soon. This is another one of those Southgate rhododendrons that you've seen in a couple things. This is actually a tea plant here. This is Camellia sinense, or Chinese camellia. That's actually tea. Have that going in the ground here pretty soon. It's starting to put on some new growth. Right now it's already flowered, and now it's growing. And then this is a dwarf podocarpus right here that I'm also covering in a video. This is my real showstopper tree every year. This is a forest pansy redbud, and it's about 23 years old now, and it's pretty spectacular when it's in flower, which they're pretty much fully open now, and then it leaves out purple. It'll be part of my redbud video when I do that. This tree that's above it here, this is a dawn redwood, and it's a really beautiful tree. I really like this tree in the winter time when it doesn't have foliage on it. It's just a perfect specimen. So that's some of the things that are looking good or flowering right now at the very beginning of April, and you'll see a lot more through the month of April because there's a lot of things going in the ground, and I'll be putting in summer vegetables and of course flowers. Annual flowers, perennials. I've done seed for perennials and annuals inside for flowers. So all that stuff will be going in the ground, plus all new containers will be planted out here to mid to late April. So there's a lot going on. You'll see a lot more. And then in May, we'll just do a proper, plant to plant video around the entire yard once I have this a little bit more under control here. So thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for upcoming content. Now, I'm not going to... What are you eating dirt for? Why are you eating dirt? What in the world? Why are you... I'm trying to shoot a video and you're eating dirt. What is that? What is that? Yeah, it doesn't taste good, does it?